Good to go.
Okay, I'm establishing the quorum. We're confirming member access, and we're going to begin our meeting. As a preliminary matter of the CRC, I am Dorothy Hertz, Chair. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Veronica?
Veronica, yes.
Sue?
Commitment, yes.
Bert?
Yes.
Um,
Joanna is in.
okay, I don't see her on my screen this way.
Here,
Joanna? Thank you.
I'm Joanna Roach here.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tamika?
Mika Gary here.
Heather?
Heather Nardoni here.
Jericho?
Jericho Mealy in attendance.
Anticipated speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. And I'm gonna, Mary Lawrence,
Here.
Miles St. Jean,
Here.
and Simon Hofer. Did I get that right?
Simeon Hoffler.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. This is an open meeting of the Contract Review Committee is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting of the CRC is being conveyed by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials have been provided. Members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called further. Please remember to mute your phone or your computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Items for public comment. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public who have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote will be taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Next, I would like approval of the agenda with a change, which would be that we are changing the Worcester Polytech Institute to be number 3 on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Bert,
Aye.
Joanna,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
Veronica,
Veronica, I.
Dorothy, aye. Hi, guys, welcome. We're going to allow you to give your presentation as to what you have done to date. So I think if you would like to start, I think I'm not sure who your spokesperson is.
That would be me.
Okay. Hi, Miles.
Hello. All right, we'll get going here. So the goal of our project is to design a data-driven survey tool that the Health and Human Services Department can implement to track the mental health problems within the youth community on the island. We plan to achieve this goal through the following objectives that we've outlined. Firstly, we are looking to identify factors such as social, economic, or cultural that contribute to a student's sense of belonging. Secondly, we are looking to identify the barriers that impede a student's willingness to use the currently available mental health resources at their schools or in the community. Thirdly, we are looking to examine the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic had on the students' mental health and academic performance. And lastly, we are looking to assess how the students' involvement or lack of involvement in their schools, homes, and communities, such as families and friends and neighborhoods, impacted their mental health. So those are our objectives, and that is the goal of this project as a whole in its current form. In terms of what we've accomplished so far, our progress, in the first week of project work, we sent out some emails, mainly to the superintendent of the public schools here. We also reached out to the principal of the Nantucket New School. And also in that initial week, we worked on editing the format and questions on the survey that we are proposing to distribute. In week 2 of project work, we conducted an interview with Our House. We spoke to Pauline Proch, where we got some feedback on the current draft of the survey. And we created a publicly available sample draft of the survey for use in getting feedback and critique from the public or any relevant professionals.
Can I ask you a question, Miles?
Sure.
Could you tell me why did you go to the Boys and Girls Club to ask them for questions, considering the number of students they have from 14 to, they're also open to people up to 25 with some of their programming at night?
I do not believe we've reached out to them yet, but we can definitely put that on the list of contacts. We're definitely looking for more people and more avenues to explore, just to get this survey reviewed by as many eyes as possible.
Fabulous. That'd be great. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, absolutely. I think that kind of just leads in the expected project end date for this from our team is the 7th of December, which is when we anticipate to have the survey has already been conducted by that point, and data has been fully collected and assembled and analyzed. So we essentially are just looking for additional contacts, additional resources, any potential guidance or instruction with regards to this project, and specifically the development and administration of this mental health survey.
And I have dumped a link to the sample survey into the chat. We'll distribute that out to everybody at the end of this meeting as well. We also have a shareable shareable flyer that we're going to start messaging. There's the sample test on there, and then we're working on getting the distribution out through the schools.
Can I-
And the survey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Moira.
So because one of you very kindly sent me a sample of this last week. Has this gone out?
This sample survey or the survey
The survey,
itself?
like the survey for people.
The actual survey has not been distributed yet. No, this is just a sample that we're looking to get feedback on before the.
Okay, so
Okay.
you're not looking for people to fill out the survey. You're wanting people to give you feedback on the questions.
Essentially, that's the goal, yes. The format of that feedback is structured such that the people take the survey, they go through it as if they were the student, and then
Okay.
at the end, they are able to self-report any
Okay.
feedback, critique, or comment.
Got it. Thank you.
And then, Miles, we might want to discuss briefly the window that we intend to have the survey open for.
Yes, absolutely. We are planning to have the survey open up on the 13th of November, and we will be closing it on the 22nd. So that's the kind of time frame window for students to be able to take the survey and for schools to distribute it, obviously.
That seems very short.
All right.
The constraint is that their project end date is the 9th, and they have to do analysis and then a presentation on it. The idea is to get it out to be through a backpack survey, and then that was sort of the current state of it. I don't know how much, Miles, like how much longer do you think you can keep that open for?
I'm not sure. I'd probably have to confer with the rest of my team on the specifics of that. I know that we are operating on a pretty significant time crunch. Our contributions to this will officially end towards the middle of December. So we are looking to be able to perform data analysis on the results that we get from that survey. And in order to do that, we would need adequate time between the end of the survey being live and the end of the project date.
Well, if you are scheduling it for the 22nd, that's a Wednesday. So Monday to Wednesday, I would at least do it until the Friday, like after Thanksgiving or even the Saturday. Because if kids are bringing it home in their backpacks, it gives them a chance to look at it over Thanksgiving with their families.
It's opening the 13th,
Yes.
Yes.
so it's a week and a half, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would at least let it go till the 25th. I don't, that's only just a few more days.
I think the current idea of distribution, the method for that would be some sort of in-school time, but a distribution kind of beyond that time frame is certainly possible if we're worried about the actual duration
So you
of
think
time
they're
that
gonna-
this is open.
Joanna, can you?
But
hold
you,
on.
go ahead.
Just go on for a minute.
So you think these kids are gonna do it in school?
That was our hope. That was our kind of ideal scenario. We have not been able to make official contact and get confirmation on that, but that is the design of the study itself, and that was kind of our plan going forward.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, the 25th, Joanna, would be past Thanksgiving. Nobody's gonna be here on the 25th. It's Thanksgiving weekend.
No,
Um,
I know, but I think that if people are here, if they're gonna put a flyer in the backpack, and this is going to CPS and NHS,
Yes, CPS, NHS, and New School.
it just seems to me that a lot of those moms are gonna clean out that backpack over that weekend, right?
Well-
And see the flyer if it's in there, right?
Well,
And if the kid, it just seems like that's the timing in which that would happen.
Sorry, go ahead, Sue.
Sue, do you want to talk?
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
I'm recognizing Sue.
thank you. Are there digital ways of getting it out as well? Like, will it be on social media? Yeah, I'm seeing the nodding. Okay, good. Cause yeah, a QR code or a link, like this might be the Boys and Girls Club could text it out to their older crew, maybe. This is an idea.
Can I
The-
also make a recommendation that we maybe look at St. Mary's Church or the churches? If we're willing to get them involved. St. Mary's has the largest participation of the Spanish community in our community. And I think Father John is pretty open to a lot of things there. I think it might be viable, and I think you'd find the Unitarian Church is pretty open to those things too.
So
the Where
current
parents get it too. Okay, Jericho?
The current distribution model, and WPI guys, please correct me if I'm wrong, is to there's gonna be a backpack pamphlet contingent, but primarily it's gonna be an email out to parents and then an email out to social media with a QR code to push people back. I do not believe there is currently plans to fill out or track the answers of a physical copy. It's gonna be all done digitally for data collection. And then I definitely the ideal distribution method is through the school, because that way we know that they're going to be going to school children, and that cleans up the data a little bit.
Parent-teacher conferences.
Parent-teacher
Coming up this
conferences.
week. We have ours on Wednesday. Do you have yours this Tuesday?
No, our parent conference hasn't even come up yet.
Oh, okay. For the new school, it's on
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Veronica's being noticed.
Okay, this is Veronica. So there's gonna be backpacks, so it'll go in the student's backpack, but there will be outreach to parents or through the school. Because I'm thinking, is it possible to contact, if there's a QR code or a message that we could contact the current or the Inky to have them run a press release to notify the public that this is happening. Because Joanna, I remember the days of going through my kids' backpacks, but by the time they got to be in high school, I didn't do that. So if parents know about it, they can say, did you get that thing today? So could WPI students, would you be comfortable reaching out to? Those are two online social media outlets that we have on the island that we could do a press release for.
Yeah, Daybreak and.
Daybreak, yeah,
And the current, and possibly the INM.
yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. That's something we would be interested in doing.
Okay.
You know, the other one that's has hundreds of thousands, he actually has like 100,000 followers, is Sean Dew at Town Pool.
Ooh,
And if you hit him right, I mean, I know that we could ask, he has done things for the school for free before, and I think he's pretty actively involved in the community, that it might be a very good resource to get out to people that aren't getting it in other capacities here.
yeah. And if you haven't been there, Town Pool is on Main Street, near the top. If
that's
you're
what
looking
she
at
said.
the bank, it's on the right-hand side and usually has the rubber ducks in the windows. But I didn't realize that, but he is he's a good guy and a good resource, obviously.
Yeah, his wife's a teacher in the school. He's got 3, number 4 is on the way.
Mhm.
He's, you know, he grew up here. He's actively involved in the community. And I just know that he has, you know, you can look at his site, look at what he has, but he has a huge following. So it might be a really great place to put it in. And I think if you explain what it was, he would probably do it for you.
Dorothy,
Excellent.
did you go under Town Pool or how do you find him?
I think it's on Town Pool, Nantucket
Okay.
Town Pool or just Town Pool.
Okay.
I have it upstairs in my Christmas folder,
Mhm.
but just a suggestion. He's a really community-minded dad and kid. I think that Jericho, you know him, correct?
So them. I can just message him on Facebook if we need to.
You know, Sean, I mean, I don't mind going in and talking to him and then asking him to reach out to you.
Yeah, that would work too. I know you guys have reached out to the Inquirer Mirror and Daybreak, so it will likely be hosted on Daybreak at least. And then there's at least like then town social media, etc. We're gonna get the everything translated into Spanish as soon as we get the finalized version of the questions. We'll get through those through Florencia. And then whatever the thing that goes into the backpack is just going to be a QR code. And then that's probably going to be the physical portion of the survey.
When is it launched?
It'll be open. I believe they're opening it on the 13th,
Oh, okay.
and then it'll run till the 22nd or possibly a little bit longer.
Jericho, what
Yes.
about asking the current to do an article on them doing this and then having the code in the article?
I've reached out to both Current and to Inquirer Mirror for a story about this and some other behavioral health stuff. That we've got up and running. I have heard back, but not anyone actually coming to do a story yet. So I will prod. I have better contacts at the Inky than I do at the Current. So if anyone knows Jason
I do.
well over there,
I used to work with them.
that
so,
might be, maybe we can poke.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, one thing, Jericho and Heather, when you speak, you have to say your names. We
Right.
will have to get better at that. Sorry, because we're remote. I'm acknowledging Veronica for a second here.
Okay, Veronica, just because, I'm coming back to our friends from WPI. This is a WPI project and, Jericho and everyone it's wonderful that we want to help, but I would direct our WPI students to take the lead on, as much as possible, because this is a learning experience and we have to be mindful of that. I know that we are all enthusiastic. We want to get the most that we can out of here. So we're chomping at the bit, but I'm very mindful that we want this to be a learning experience for our students. So we can make suggestions, but I would like to see this turn to the students and have the students take the lead.
I think that you have more experience with their programming and what
Yeah.
they do than I have at
Yeah.
all. More than willing to set up for you guys to meet Sean Do
Mhm,
and tell him that you want to come in and talk to him. I could take that step in that.
mhm.
And Heather, maybe you could reach out and say that somebody from them would be reaching out to see if they can get an article in the paper in regards to what they're doing.
Heather, yeah, sorry. I'm so not used to doing that. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, fabulous. And then Miles, I think that we could get you the information through Jericho with the contacts after we let them know, and you can reach out to them yourself.
Excellent. Yeah, that works perfectly.
Great. Fabulous. Hey, Miles, Mary, and I don't know, how do we say this?
Simeon.
Simeon. Thank you very much for the time that you're putting into this project. For all of us, it's really an important thing that we're working on right now. We're hoping to make a difference in the community, and one that we can see long-term, have some long-term impact. So we really appreciate the fact that you picked this up and are doing it for us. Veronica has something to say again.
Right. Knowing that we have recognized this, and we're all dinosaurs without a doubt, but we recognize that you have lived through everything that our students on the island have also lived through. I'm very aware of sensitivity with some of the information and questions and whatever. So I'm just hoping that if, you as students and young people have any concerns or questions, etc., that we do have resources available on the island for counseling, etc. So, we are wanting to improve the overall behavioral health of everyone on the island, and we want to make sure that you are part of our community too now. So we want to just make sure that you are aware that it's offered. So thank you.
Okay, Miles, do you have anything else you'd like to add to this?
I don't think there's anything left for me. If anybody has any questions, I am very happy to answer them at any time.
Or does any of your other colleagues want to mention anything at all?
This is Mary. There's nothing here that I want to add. I think Miles covered it pretty well. I just wanted to thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to speak here.
Oh, thank you for coming in to speak. Okay, does anybody have, Bert, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, Joanna?
Nope.
Sue?
Nope, just echoing your thoughts of gratitude and maybe a little, I'm not so much a dinosaur, Veronica, but thank you.
Baby dinosaurs, maybe.
Baby
Yeah.
dinosaur.
Baby, real baby. Okay, Veronica, do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't.
Okay, so everybody, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for this. We look forward to watching this project move on.
We'll review the,
We'll review the questions in a minute. We're just gonna have to pull them up. It blocks out you guys on the computer when we pull them up.
Admitting John Balash,
Fabulous.
429. All right, and I will send out an email with the introductory letter and link, etc. as well, as a backup. And then any questions that might arise, I can be a good point of contact for the WPI team if they'd like. Sorry, Jericho Mealy. Gotta get better at that. Gotcha. To say that.
Your voice is very distinct, but we do have to say it.
Yeah, no, I know.
Welcome, John.
Sorry to be late.
We appreciate you being here.
I got hung up in something and lost the access to the Zoom address.
Okay. Well, we just finished up with WPI. We moved them to the front of the schedule so that they can move on with their day and not sit around.
Right, okay.
I'm sorry that you missed it. Well, we can give you a summary in a minute. I just want to be able to let the WPI students leave if they would like to leave the discussion at this point. Okay.
Yep.
Again, thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. If you have any other questions, you can, Jericho is our point of contact for that. We also have a group alias, so that can maybe be sent out later.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hi, John. So this summary, I'm gonna do this very very brief summary of this.
Yeah.
Is they presented to us what they were looking at in the survey, which Jericho's gonna send out the questions to you. I think you can see it in a text message, but it's pretty hard to pull it up and look at the screen at the same time.
Yeah.
Their project ends, they have to be done by December 9th. So they've put in their project date for the survey between the November 13th and 22nd. Their presentation on the project to us on December 7th.
And what is it they're looking at, just roughly?
They're looking at the mental health of the students, social and
That's okay. I have the context that I can read the rest.
okay, sounds great. So that was very nice of them to come in and speak with us. So the next thing, we're gonna go now to the first thing, back on the agenda. I need approval of the minutes that were presented to us. And
I'll make a
believe-
motion to approve minutes, and I'm just pulling up which ones they were.
One was October 6th.
October 6th, October 10th, October 16th, and October 24th.
Second.
Okay, Veronica,
Aye.
Bert,
Aye.
Joanna,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Just checking to see, and Dorothy, aye. Sorry, I was just looking to see if Linda had gotten on to their meeting. Okay, we have outstanding quarterly reports. I'm gonna just say that I would like to not look at Addiction Solutions because it has not been properly submitted to us. It is missing the first pages. It's just presenting the bill to us.
I have
Jericho?
I have a email into Alan Bell and the rest of their reporting team to provide reporting. I will poke again tomorrow. I let them know that they can't get dispersal until we get the reporting in.
Okay, thank you. So out of all of them, that one did not have the services rendered, you know, like so that we could actually see them in the quarterly reports. So I have to pull mine up on my phone too at this point.
So we got Sherburne.
That should be the email with the introductory letter and the link to everyone.
And Artist Association.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that we have Sherburne. Yeah, and Artist Association are the only two full ones in. Are there any questions in regards to these quarterly reports right now?
I'm reading correctly that the the Artist Association is 0. They're not actually.
I don't believe the Healing Through the Arts program starts in quarter 1 fiscal. Yeah.
So they kindly submitted an invoice for 0 saying we're not there yet.
Well, just saying, we've done it every year, so I think they just don't do it until,
Yeah, not objecting to it, just appreciating that they acknowledge the end of the quarter.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they submitted the information with $0.
Yeah, okay.
That was the team that did that one. Sorry, Tamika. That without just $0, they was just saying, hey, here's the breakdown of everything so far.
Okay.
We appreciate that, and that is the way it's supposed to be done. So, could I get a motion from somebody?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
To approve Sherburne Commons for the Memory Cafe and Artist Association quarterly reports.
I'll second that.
Veronica,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
Joanna,
Aye.
Bert,
Aye.
and I'll take an aye. Thanks, guys.
Aye.
John.
Oh, John, thank you. Oh, John, my computer just doesn't show all the faces for some reason.
That's all right. I'll speak up.
Thank you.
You don't see my face.
I keep going over to see whether somebody's been added on or not, and I apologize for that. Okay, the Human Service Grant RFP discussion, that's a discussion on the RFP. Joanne, I would like to just get this RFP out with just a couple of changes to the actual RFP at this point.
Sure.
And one of the changes to the RFP, just adding the collaboration that we've actually asked on the other ones so that we can start instilling more collaboration within the group. I think that showing multiple collaboration and having them show us how they're doing it is going to help us enhance on all of our future funding availability, both within the town and outside of the town for grants. So I'd like to add that to that. Jericho, that was the only thing, I'm going to get a vote on that with the committee, but that's the only thing I think that should be added to the existing RFP is the collaboration factor. And I'll get you in 1 second, Jericho, I see your hand. And then if there is anything that we want to look at, we should be looking at it, putting some notes down and everybody coming in through the process, and maybe we're talking about it through the process so that it's set in stone for next year's RFP that can be written over the summer. Okay, Jericho?
That would be one additional question to the narrative questions that are in the fiscal year 24 CRC questions. And we'll just add the collaboration question from the Youth Behavioral Health Grant document.
Yeah, and not the question, but the requirement of a shown collaboration within at least 2 organizations.
Okay, I will add a rough draft for that to email out so we can get a couple of eyes on it.
And you know what, sorry, the other thing everybody is, sorry, Jericho, while I'm thinking about it, is we also want to get them together to meet with us a little bit more. So maybe like even quarterly meetings with us. To discuss what they are doing in their collaborations. Could be done when quarterly reports are due.
So what we're currently planning on doing is getting templates for their reporting, and then get templates for the reporting, send those in a reminder out 2 weeks ahead of the quarterly reports, so that they'll have basically templates to fill out and get back to them. We can then schedule a meeting with them when we're sending those reminders out for the next scheduled CRC, or we can schedule a CRC meeting when we send a reminder out and ask them to attend there.
What I'd like to do is just set up the quarterly meetings with them in their contract at the beginning, put the contract dates in at the beginning. You know
So
what I
they-
mean? And so they
Yeah.
have them for the year.
So that would mean first meeting with them would be fiscal 25 in quarter 1.
Correct.
Okay,
Okay. And it'll be like, yeah, like October of 25 that we would be fiscal year 25.
yeah.
Yeah, fall 24, fiscal year 25.
And then I don't know if this is still part of this. If not, let me know. Then what do we want to do for a timeline for fiscal year 25 CRC process? I would like, it would be very helpful.
I would like to see it go out in October,
So I think we need
beginning of
dates.
October, huh?
I think we need dates and a schedule put together, roughly the same sort of framework we had with the youth behavioral health grant discussions.
Right, but I mean, are you talking about right now's, yeah, we're trying, yes, I thought you were talking, let's go back for fiscal year 25's, for fiscal year 26, I thought you were talking, actually, I'd like
No.
I'd like to, the thing go out in October, the beginning of October next year. But for this year, we are doing, it is on the agenda that we are going to put a calendar together with all dates. So that is one of our things on the agenda. So if I can get everybody to agree upon those two things to be added to the contract, or somebody make a motion to add those to the contract, which would just be that we have the collaboration and quarterly meetings with with everybody that's the whole thing. And not that we're meeting separately with one group, it's everybody coming together so that we're having like a discussion about what they're doing within the community.
Right. I can make that motion to, for the human resource, human services grant RFP, that we add in the wordage, with verbiage, I should say, of collaboration that we had on the youth behavioral health grant. And secondly, that when they provide a quarterly report for that reporting period, that we would like to have a in-person, whether it's Zoom or whatever, discussion, to be part of a discussion, not just a report handed in paper.
No, not like, it's required. I would like to see it required that we have a group, that there is a collaboration, a meeting of all the human service grant recipients.
Okay, so
So-
what you're saying is one meeting that we would have
Everybody
everyone,
comes in
and we
then
have an open discussion.
we have an open discussion about what's
Okay.
happening. That way we have an idea of what's actually happening in the community and their collaboration that's going on. Do you
Okay,
know what I mean?
Yes.
And it could be something that would be beneficial that the Council for Human Services is
Right.
invited to attend.
Yeah.
So they have an idea of what's going on
Yeah.
within the community as well.
okay.
Um,
So, basically, let me say that motion rather than, just that we would have a quarterly meeting with all the grant recipients, to discuss what's been happening, what they've done, and, to encourage further collaboration.
correct. I just want to note that Sue Minhan is out. She has lost electricity at her house.
Oh.
So we're just putting that on. So that is in there. We still have a quorum, but I just want to let everybody know that is why she's not in it. Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second,
Okay. Veronica,
Aye.
John,
I,
Joanna,
Aye.
Bert,
Aye.
Sue, are you in there?
I'm actually here. I'm just,
Okay,
limited.
okay.
And Linda's joined us.
I see that Linda just joined us. Sue? Can we
Aye.
get- Okay, Linda?
Repeat the motion exactly, please.
Yep,
Okay, the motion, let me go back to it. First part of the motion is that the Human Services Grant RFP will include the same verbiage that we included with regard to collaboration that we had in the youth behavioral health grant. First part of the motion. The second part of the
Is that
motion,
going to be required
Yes,
or just suggested?
required,
Required for the ones that we normally give out every year, the 650?
correct.
I'm against it. I'll
Okay,
just vote no.
okay, you're just gonna vote no? Just voting no.
Because we have never required that these people individually, like the Martha's Vineyard, people like that, that they have to collaborate by requirement with everybody, with somebody else. I don't agree with that. These are
Okay.
individual people, Meals
You-
on Wheels, you know, it's that type of stuff. How are you going to collaborate?
You have a right to your voice in it, but where collaboration is with hopes that we can get better funding through state and federal grants. The more collaboration we show within the community, the better off we are. I think that you
Can
can
it be
see-
suggested as opposed to required all of a
Excuse-
sudden?
Excuse me. Meals, and we've done the requirement on the youth behavioral grant and we've seen groups come together. We're hoping that it will do and benefit us in the direction that we're doing with the youth behavioral grant too, which is to get more money awarded to the community. We lost out on a major grant that the hospital applied for because of the fact that there was absolutely no collaboration that could be identified. So I don't think that you would find that the Meals on Wheels would have much trouble collaborating with a group of people, whether that group of people is a volunteer group, it could be a group, it could be a church group. There's a lot of things they could show a collaboration with, which I don't think they're going to have a problem with. And it'll expand what we have available, possibly in money to the community. So
Why can't we just say it's suggested it because of this may open this up, et cetera, et cetera? Why is that becoming a requirement now for that
We're-
12
we're
to
We're in the
13?
middle of a vote here, Linda. Vote yes or no and let us get on.
Well, it's also open for discussion.
okay, so Linda, the
Call the
idea,
vote, Linda.
the idea of it is to, as I stated, to enhance what monies might be available, collaboration, and hopes that maybe people actually start working together in a more productive manner.
I would rather see it
you know-
suggested than being a requirement. I find that objectionable. So I'm going to
Okay.
vote against it.
May I-
Okay, so we got Linda's voted against it. And,
well, we're still making the motion at this point.
yeah,
right?
well, she
Okay.
wanted to
We
hear
haven't
them.
called for, we haven't,
Hold on a minute, please. I have three of you talking at the same, so just give me a minute, Joanna. Veronica's hand was raised throughout that whole thing, so I'm going to acknowledge Veronica.
Okay, I think what I would like to see collaboration, and I'll use like Meals on Wheels as an example, maybe more outreach to other organizations on the island that maybe they could find more recipients for meals. It's, if we use the rubric that in the way that it's designed, if you have collaboration, you will receive more points. If you don't have collaboration, it doesn't knock you out, but in a scoring thing, it would enhance to have some collaboration. And collaboration could be just people talking to each other. I think we're looking at it in a very loose definition.
Yeah, we
Right.
just want to see people working together at a greater thing. It will provide for the community a greater resource in the end. As we noticed, these other groups came together and were able to find groups that they're collaborating with and they're working together with. They didn't find it to be an obstacle. I don't
These
think.
are the other one was for youth related issues.
Well,
These are very varied on the 12 or 13 that we get every year. They're very varied in scope.
I think that you will find that they're not going to have a problem with their showing their collaboration, Linda. But somebody's hand was up before yours, so I'm going back. I'm going over to Joanna.
I actually agree with Linda, and I think that it should be suggested, right, not required. Because I don't want to rule some of these small people out. And I think that maybe there's a way to say that collaboration is weighted more heavily, right? Like maybe it's just a wording thing. Because how is the legal services place gonna do collaboration?
They
Yeah.
work, so they open up their doors and work again more with places like in Safe Place, Elder Services.
Or what about small friends on this art therapy thing, or the memory cafe? How are they gonna do more collaboration? Like Small Friends is providing a service.
And
I
it's
don't
very
want-
focused.
Right,
don't
but
want people
all
to-
of them are focused, but they can work outside of it. So maybe the art one, maybe they could ask somebody from the Art Association to get involved at Small Friends. What we're trying to do is open up a door of people working together within the service. Sorry,
Yeah.
am I doing crazy?
I like it. I
but
like
they
that
are not-
part of it. I just don't.
That we have a problem with, like, what we've been unable to prove in any incident is a actual working collaboration within human services to enhance the human service grants available.
That's
to the
great, but
group.
then make it a suggestion. Like Joanna said, make it a suggestion, not a
Okay, you have to
requirement.
put your hand up so I can see you when we're talking, please. And, okay? And that way I can recognize you and your name can be recorded. Okay? Thank you very much. We're hearing what you've said. Veronica has her hand up. I don't know, just,
Okay,
I think Jericho does too.
okay.
yeah,
And
we'll
this
just
is,
have to, Jericho, 1 minute, okay?
this is a question, could we have a information session when we release the RFP that will open this up for discussion amongst our grant recipients, or before they apply, that this is what we're looking to encourage? And
Hold on, Jericho. I see your hand. Let Veronica
okay,
finish.
can that be done, basically, that we have an information session that explains what we're trying to do?
I don't think we have a particularly good idea exactly of what we're asking for, because there's a distinction between collaboration and outreach and referral structures. I think that we have in the existing rubric the mechanism to determine what collaboration is, or rather how to add the grading for it. As Veronica mentioned, we can just import the rubric component from the youth behavioral health grant to weight individuals who do have extensive collaboration higher, and then use that as the decision-making process. But we also have some time constraints that we need to deliver this in, and some additional, there's going to be an additional lift for getting the youth behavioral health grants out and into, we still have to draft the contracts for that, figure out what so my guess is that we should be adding the rubric to it and informing individuals, but that getting all of this done in time to have 21 full days for both the substance misuse and the regular CRC, and then having a barrier to starting that process be us getting a time for however many organizations are going to apply to this. There may be a variety of new people. Just in my personal opinion, I think that is going to complicate the 2 grant processes we have left to do before basically the end of this calendar year.
What, adding the sentence?
No, not
Yeah.
adding, having a meeting with all of the,
Meeting.
Not this
And I
time of
think-
year.
yeah, and
You gotta raise your hand.
that's just a brutal logistical fact, is that it's going to add complication to something that we have a pretty tight timeline on. And that I'm already getting people asking me, did they miss the grant cycle? So I think it's, we can lead with more collaboration as being a better result in our grading. And then we just need to, when we're using the rubric, weight that answer heavier.
Veronica has her hand up here.
Right, that's the purpose of the rubric. And, basically, if someone's able to show collaboration, they would score higher on the rubric. Doesn't knock people out if they haven't found collaboration, but it is, I understand the spirit of what we're doing. And I think the spirit is what has to happen, that we have more interaction between agencies and just people on the island. So it's more of a spirit, and sometimes you have to push it to make it happen.
Right, because I think discussion has gone on about the fact that all these people keep coming back in for the same thing, and should we be doing some of these? And it has been an active part of the discussions, has been, you know, it's supposed to be about new programming. How are we using our money? Is our money being used properly? Or do we want to support staff? Those questions have been coming up, and in looking at everything that we've worked on for years, one of the biggest things we keep saying to the town is we need to see these groups start collaborating. And that was one of the biggest things when we presented the youth behavioral grant, was it would be a collaboration of more than one group working together to have an ultimate goal. And what we'd like to see is in all the human services. Now, that collaboration doesn't mean that it's two of the programs collaborating together. It means that they're showing us actual collaboration, working with something outside to make their program just that much better and that much broader. By doing that, we're opening up our doors to more money in the long run in state and federal grants, stuff that has been closed off to us in the past. And so it is just a, you know, if you listen to all of our conversations, we've all talked about this. And now I'm just asking that maybe we do something and let's see how it works, because it was the basis of this youth behavioral grant. Nobody had a problem. They were able to find people to work with. I think it could be beneficial. I know it could be beneficial to the community in the long run in so many different avenues. So. We were in the middle of a vote. So I think.
Middle of the motion, I believe.
No, we had a vote. We had a
No, we
vote.
didn't.
No, we were doing.
I thought, no, she was she was restating what the motion was for Linda. We were in the middle of a vote. Linda and Joanna were the last two to be called in on the vote at that point in time.
Well, I'd like to do a friendly amendment then, vis-a-vis what Joanna was saying.
Well, the suggested collaboration, that already what's in the one now is that you have to show us that they tell us what kind of collaboration are you doing, but it's not required. I think that.
Well, have to is required. That language is required. Have to means you're required.
They are not currently required.
They're not
That's right.
required in the one. It just asks us to show us what do you have? Are you collaborating with anybody? What we're asking for is to have it that they are collaborating with somebody.
It's the word are. Again, that's required. I don't want the word are, have to, required. Suggested, better points like Veronica was saying and Joanna was saying. I mean, loosen the language up. That's all I'm asking for.
Well, is that loosening the language? Are we loosening the requirement? Because we actually want to see collaboration.
I'm loosening the requirement that they do it, because as we pointed out earlier, there are some groups that can't do that, and not any discernible way.
I don't think there are groups that cannot do it. I think that
I don't want somebody not to apply because we're not collaborating. I'd rather see it as suggested. You may be weighted heavier than the groups that are not collaborating. That's what I'm after. I am not ever going to vote for a requirement for that.
But Linda, why did we do it for the youth behavioral grant?
Because that was a different kind of grant than the ones that we normally, the 12 or 13 that we see. They have nothing to do with that.
But the 12 or 13 that we see are beneficial to human services and can increase human services if we can prove money into federal and state grants, if we can prove collaboration.
That's and so if they want to do that, they do it.
The idea that we can look at something and talk all year about the fact that we want to see them work harder together, and then we're not saying, let's see it, let's see you do this. We want to see a change, and that change we want to see is that you two organizations are working together, whether they're two. It doesn't mean that they have to say, oh, Small Friends has to work with Fair Winds. We're saying, Small Friends, is there somebody that can come in and work on this program with you so you're collaborating with more people within the community? Elder
Then
service.
suggest it. Then suggest it. Don't require it. They get more points on the rubric if they can show that they're doing that. And then they all get told this up front.
Would it help if we define collaboration as including outreach and referrals?
No, because outreach doesn't necessarily
Oh.
bring in collaboration. People say, oh, I do outreach, and you go and sit with people that are, when you go for the interviews, and they're like, well, yeah, but we don't work together on something. You want to see them work towards a goal, because when you have a collaboration with somebody, you're working towards a mutual goal, whether that is to benefit, whether it's to benefit elder services and they have, more volunteers or small friends get somebody in for some of their programming.
That sounds like program collaboration.
Well,
Which
no,
is
it's actually collaboration within the organization where it's when you work with somebody else, you're collaborating.
God.
You're enhancing your program, you're collaborating.
The point
sorry.
is, you
Linda,
people aren't
put
going to
your hand up,
apply.
Linda.
John
I don't know where it is on here. The people are, I'm raising my hand. I don't know where it is on here. It's a different bottom than I'm used to. People are not going to apply if they can't find somebody to collaborate with. And I don't want that. That's not fair.
I don't think that it's going to stop people from collaborating. I think it's going to make people look at things a little differently. I don't think
I
any
said
of
it stopped them from applying because they don't have a collaboration. I think that's unfair.
I don't think anybody will not apply for the grants because we're asking that of them.
I don't agree.
really don't, Linda, I think that you're putting it out there that people aren't capable of doing this, and I think they're very capable of doing it. And I think that to say that they will not apply is you've made a decision that they're not going to apply. I don't think there's any organization that we're working with that wouldn't be willing to work with somebody else or to find a way to make it better. I have a hand up here on this end.
All right, this
This
is
is
Veronica,
Veronica.
and
On
I'm going to go as far as saying that outreach, if it is done properly, can be collaboration. Or you've got a service, and I'm gonna use Meals on Wheels. You know, if they do outreach to some of the other organizations on the island, they potentially would get more customers for Meals on Wheels. And it is outreach. It also is collaboration, because then you're going to collaborate with a church or with one of the other organizations. So I think in some ways we're splitting hairs.
I don't want the word required, period.
There's two hands up. John first, then Joanna Roach second.
Yeah, we'll see them. We're letting, Linda wasn't finished. John.
Well, I'm not clear, Dorothy, whether if, let us say, let's stay with the word required for the moment. But are you suggesting that they need to collaborate with somebody, or they would be limited to collaboration with somebody on the island, or would collaboration with some other source of funding count from your point of view? Source of funding or possibly augmenting their services? It's not clear to me whether you are focusing primarily on collaboration among the organizations we already deal with and having them collaborate with each other, or you've got a wider coverage for collaboration.
Collaboration could be anything that enhances the program that they're actually giving to the community or providing to the community. It is not about financial collaboration. It is about collaborating with another organization, whether it would be an organization or a group of people, another nonprofit, a public school, just showing us that they're working on what they're trying to do, and what they're asking for is they're working with other resources to make their program more viable.
Well, I think we need to be, we have to be very careful with how we draft that requirement. Let's assume we have a requirement. I think that is a real drafting point to make it clear that what we really mean, because it's a little too amorphous at the moment.
I think we should wait. I can't raise my hand. There's
Excuse
no
me,
raise hand thing here. I
Linda,
don't
you
know where
have
it
to
went.
wait. Joanna's hand has been up.
I know, I'm trying to find the raise hand thing. It doesn't exist anymore because you just updated my whole computer.
Okay,
Three
you
buttons.
have to
that say
wait.
more.
Okay.
No, it's not there anymore.
Jared, can you pull up the wording that we had on the the youth behavioral grant, please? And Joanna, as he's doing that, I'm gonna get Joanna. Joanna, I'm recognizing you.
Okay, so I'm looking at a grant that I'm applying for right now. And one of the language in the grant says evaluation priority, okay? And it gives actually gives 5 things that gives you a higher priority when the evaluation happens. And one of them is clear plans for data submitted to something, the examination of certain things, clear and tangible benefits for EJ population, matching funds, demonstration of meaningful collaborative approaches, collaborative projects that effectively leverage partnerships to create synergies, interactions among partners that create combined project outcomes greater than the outcomes anticipated if coalition partners worked individually. Why can't we have something like that?
We do.
That's beautiful. Right.
We do. It's built into the collaboration rubric.
Right.
This is right in the grant.
You're saying it's in the grant.
Yes, it's under evaluation priority.
As it was with the youth behavioral health grant.
Exactly.
So within the rubrics that was put
It
out.
doesn't say it's required. It does not say required. What it says is that your grant will be, you get priority if you provide any of these 5 or 6 things that are in there.
So we would have a
To
question.
Jericho, hold on, Jericho, please, because even though you're doing that, it's really, I have to identify you, and Linda has had her hand up too, so I need
We
to.
found her hand.
Yep, she found her hand.
Well, I
Linda?
had to completely change the whole screen because it updated Zoom for like a half an hour and then it just took everything out in the bottom. It was really weird.
Hey, Linda, I'm recognizing your hand.
I agree. I'm going to agree with what Jericho's going to say, and I agree with what Joanna just said, but I think it's almost too late. We are way too late now in this process. We would have already had applications in here by now or somewhere in this area. It's way too late to drop this on them.
It's not too late to drop it on them because they haven't had to do it yet. So we're just
They're
adding.
all waiting. Well, let me finish. They're all sitting around here waiting. I'm getting emails, which I shoot to Jericho, from people who say, well, where's the ad? Where's our applications? Why is it so late? We don't want to miss it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because we are way late doing this. And this is what works.
Linda, we all know that, and we've all been getting those emails and phone calls, okay? So I think right now what we have is the opportunity before the RFP goes out to add this one sentence, this one thing into this, which could enhance the whole process that we're doing. And I think Joanna.
One sentence, the one that Joanna said, because that was more than one sentence, but the one that Joanna said.
I think that Joanna has just, if you let me finish, and so your hand is done now, is to let Joanna reread what she read to us. And Joanna, I think that you gave us something that would be, it actually sort of mimics what's in the written.
It's already in the rubric.
The rubric for the youth and behavioral grant.
Right.
So if you could, Joanna,
yes.
if you could read that, I would love that. And we will have that. Tamika, can we get this? And Jericho, can you get this right now as she's reading it to us to be able to add to the RFP?
Shall I share the language we already have in the youth behavioral health grant?
Because that may say it.
Yeah.
I
think the youth behavioral health grant actually says required.
Yes. And
Okay.
I can share that text so that we can see the difference between these two. But we have an item.
All right.
Specifically.
I've got it on TV.
Okay, I'm gonna let, Tamika, I see that your hand is raised and you have not risen your hand before. Is there something that you think that we're missing?
No, I was asking with this, are we making another motion? Because you were about to ask me to make sure something goes in, so I was wondering, is that gonna be made a motion?
Only
just
if after, we're gonna have Joanna read it and then we're gonna discuss it. And then if it's going to be made a motion, it will be made a motion. Okay?
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
motion on, the problem is, Madam Chair, there's a motion on the table. Now, the second can be withdrawn and the motion can be withdrawn and we can start over. But right now, there is still a motion on the table, which cannot be ignored. But so
Right.
now we're having a discussion on the motion, but we need to withdraw the second, withdraw the motion, and then start again with the language that we want.
Okay, do you want to withdraw?
Or wouldn't we, Linda, just amend the motion?
Right.
Well, it's hard now because she started to take the vote before you and I resisted.
Do we have a?
So it's better off to withdraw the second, withdraw the motion, and then start again. That's the Robert's rules. It's better to do it that way.
Okay, we're gonna, wait, hold on here. Everybody, Heather, I see your hand up, and before I acknowledge anybody else, I'm gonna acknowledge you, Heather.
Okay, I think the question is, what was the motion that we are amending? That has to be in the minutes and recorded properly.
Okay, and I think what they're doing is they're gonna talk about rescinding the motion right now. So I think if you hold on a minute, Tamika.
We have to have the motion that's being
The
rescinded.
motion was by Veronica, which is the only motion that was on the table right now, was for, she's gonna withdraw it, but was for the collaboration to be put into the agenda. I mean, into
As a
the,
requirement.
okay, Linda, can you let Linda, you need to let us finish on our end, please.
Okay, this is Veronica. I'm making a motion to rescind.
You
motion-
can't. The person who did the second has to rescind first and then you rescind it. I don't know who seconded it. I believe Bert seconded maybe.
Yeah,
John seconded.
Bert,
Then I rescinded. I didn't know I seconded it, but I
It was
was.
John who
I
seconded.
thought, John, I think the proper person was.
If I seconded it, I rescind it.
Thank
Right,
you,
then
John.
Veronica then rescinds her motion and then we start over.
Okay, I'm going to rescind the original motion.
thank you. And now what I'm gonna make in a statement is, until I notify your hand, please do not speak. Okay, so now, Joanna, I am asking you to please read to us that wording again.
Yeah, I'm just cleaning it up. I'm gonna email it as well. Evaluation and funding priority will be given to organizations demonstrating meaningful collaborative approaches, collaborative projects that effectively leverage partnerships and create synergies, i.e. interactions among coalition partners that create combined project outcomes greater than outcomes anticipated if coalition partners worked individually, period.
That, yeah,
Hold on, Jericho. I just have to see everybody else first, Jericho, okay? Okay, Jericho,
so that is almost verbatim what is in the rubric already, grading collaboration. So if we put that sentence into the RFP and then put the existing rubric line in there, that seems to be the end goal everyone is having here.
correct. Okay, so now with that wording said, Joanna, do you want to make that motion because you just read it, the wording?
Yes, I'm happy to do that.
I'll second it.
Well, she has to make the
Do
motion.
I need to read it again? Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. I make a motion to include the following language in the RFP. Evaluation and funding priority will be given to organizations demonstrating meaningful collaborative approaches, collaborative projects that effectively leverage partnerships to create synergies. For example, interactions among coalition partners that create combined project outcomes greater than outcomes anticipated if coalition partners worked individually.
Second.
Okay, Joanna,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Sue,
Did we lose
Yes.
them?
Okay, Bert,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Veronica.
Veronica,
I'm
yes.
not abstaining. Okay. Going on to the next, on this discussion, hold on.
We need to have a motion for the quarterly reports, because that wasn't part of that.
Yeah, it was, we did it before.
Okay,
You did that way before. We did that a couple
Okay.
before.
I just put the language in the chat, Dorothy, so whoever needs it can get it.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you very much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
and Jericho, can we get this to, the procurement officers for the RFP, ASAP and get this out possibly at the beginning of next week?
Yes, so that we need, I need to know the timeline before I can do that. And all it would change is, it would just be some copy and pasting and some emailing.
Right, so the timeline is fine. If we can get that out, if you can get that out, how fast do you think you can get that out?
A week.
Okay, so if we say for next Monday, can we have that out for Monday?
I cannot guarantee it. It is outside, like it involves another department. So I can't guarantee it'll be done by a particular day. On
Okay,
my,
can we
I
shoot
can
for
have,
the 13th?
I will aim for the 13th, yeah. So that's the first
If we,
time.
if we aim for the 13th, can we have, let's have the date that it has to be in as the 15th of December. Because we're already so far into the year.
The date,
The date that the RFP has to be back in.
so December 15th.
If you
If we
give,
put
if you
the
get it out on the 13th, right? We're giving them almost a month to get it in because you have Thanksgiving and everything,
Yeah,
okay? And if we have the date for it back in as Friday at 4 o'clock on December 15th.
that will give four business weeks minus a couple of breaks. But yeah, that should be, I think that is gonna be doable.
Okay. That's what I would like to see with the date back in on the 15th. And then, you know, and then I think what we look at as a committee is just one meeting prior, so everybody gets it, and if there's any discussion, and then we go into Christmas holiday. So I would recommend that we do Monday, the 18th at 4 o'clock at the same time.
18th of what?
December,
December.
Oh,
That's
boy.
Monday.
it's Monday, December 18th.
That's a proposed meeting.
Okay, hold
Huh?
on.
It's a proposed meeting from 4 to 5:30.
Yes.
And then we are gonna go on break. Okay, because it's Christmas, so we know that nobody's gonna be around. And then what I would suggest is that we put an invitation out for interviews on the 8th and the 11th.
So that will give. So you got those? So that'll give collection on the 15th, internal question and assign, are we gonna do the assigned organizations for follow-up as normal?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we'll do that on the 18th, okay? And then on the January 8th and January 11th, if we could have the organizations in for interviews.
Can we do them in the morning?
As long as that works, I think it's giving everybody ample time. Joanna, would you be able to make a morning interview on the 8th and on the 10th?
On the
11th.
8th, on the 8th, yes, on the 10th, likely no.
How about the
I
11th?
thought you said the 11th on the Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday.
I did. I
No,
made.
no, no. I'm having some surgery, so I'm out the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Okay,
But so don't hold up on my account.
okay.
And
I will-
Wednesdays are,
We're not gonna hold.
Wednesdays are not great for me.
Huh?
Wednesdays are not great for me. Thursdays are better.
Yeah, we
Okay,
went to
so-
the 11th.
The 8th
So,
and the 11th.
It'll be December 8th and 11th. We're gonna do it in the morning. My
January.
recommendation, this is January. Let me finish, everybody. It'll be January. I'm making the recommendation that the meetings go 10 to 12 on those days. That will get us ample opportunity to get everybody in the door for the human service grants.
So
Hold
one-
on.
Well, this is one thing that can't be held on, because if we're gonna do 4 organizations per meeting, we're gonna need one more meeting with them at least, because we had 12 organizations that applied last time.
Okay, so then let's do, we can't do the 15th. It's a holiday. So how about the 18th?
January 18, yeah. Same
And
10 to
then-
12.
Again, it would be 10 to 12. And then
I
I
would
would,
just wait till then to figure out where we go from there.
no, because they want this out, so this is what we're doing. So the next recommendation is I would go back to doing Mondays, because Monday seems to work for everybody. Went to deliberations on the 22nd of January.
At what time?
4 PM, right?
Yeah, 4 PM will be the
That's
deliberation
fine.
on the 22nd.
What's the date, 22nd?
22nd of January, Monday, the 22nd at 4 PM. That would be a deliberation. We should all be able to make up by then have a pretty good basis of, if the interviews on the 18th, we run and we have time, we can start deliberations on that day, which we'll make sure we put on the agenda that it's both. And then we'll do the 22nd as, and then I'm gonna put the 29th down in case we have any other further questions. If not, that can always be gotten rid of.
Canceled.
Yes. Okay. And then the next date we will meet will be February 12th.
I will not be on the island.
Can you do it via Zoom?
Well, I did before, so I'm still doing Zoom by Zoom now. I'll make sure I can.
Awesome. So February 12th, what February 12th will hopefully be is our reports.
Reports, and then, so then we'll be sharing the outcome of we'll be sharing the recommendations publicly on what is it, it'll be after December the 22nd, and then we'll have the reports on.
Wait, what are you talking about?
January 22nd.
No, our recommendations will be, we have the 22nd and the 29th in case
Okay.
we need the dates. And then our report will be available February 12th for approval. And because then we have to have it to FinCom, correct, Joanna, on that date for that week?
Yes.
Okay,
Deliberations the 22nd.
okay.
So once we get it all
Yeah.
together,
Oh,
can we hold 1 second so we can confirm, we'll just run down the list and make it explicit? Do you have them all?
I think I have them all.
Okay, so sorry, go ahead, Bert has his hand up.
Okay,
Yeah, I just request Jericho, when we get this all worked out, could you send out an email with all the dates and times?
Yeah, we'll get a full schedule out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay, so I'm gonna ask everybody, not including you, Jericho, I don't mean to be rude, but can you put your hands up from now on? Veronica has a question and then
Right.
we're gonna go.
So December 18th, we're going to review the grants as a group. Are we gonna be doing questions at that point, or we will do our individual questions and get them back to you, Dorothy, before the January 8th interview? So we have to put together questions, and I think if we get all the grants on the 18th, we need time to read them and do questions.
Well, they get in on the 15th will be the date that they get done, so
Right.
yes. So maybe we make the date the 14th, so that gives us the Friday, so people can pick it up at the office. Hey, Jericho, let's change that to December 14th, that gives everybody the Friday to get the reports.
So collection day, not a meeting, for the current round, and is this gonna be both, this is just CRC we're talking about, or we're simultaneously doing the
Both.
substance?
We're doing both.
So it's
Both
gonna be,
going out, and I would like December 14th, 4 o'clock to be the deadline. And that way everybody can pick it up and have it in hand on Friday. And then the 18th would be our discussion for that, yes,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
And
So-
then, and we'll go over the dates right now, Jericho.
okay, perfect.
So as it started is, we're hoping for projected date of November 13th with the
Release.
deadline of December 14th. So that's next Monday for the RFP, hopefully to go out. And December 14th, even if it has a delay of a couple of days, we're giving them ample time with the deadline of December 14th at 4 p.m.
Election.
And then we will meet Monday, December 18th at 4 to 5:30. Our next date that we meet is going to be January 8th from 10 to 12. That will be interviews. Okay,
What day of the week is that?
Monday.
that's a Monday, John.
Well, I'll have to leave about by 11:45 because I have a standing appointment noon and each on Mondays and Fridays.
Okay. Then January 11th, it's 10 to 12. Again, interviews. And January 18th, 10 to 12, possible more interviews on that date. Okay. January 22nd at 4 p.m. we will have our beginning of our deliberations. And we have the date of the 29th down for deliberations as well. And then, excuse me?
One question from Tamika.
Yeah.
End time?
Oh, okay, cool. We'll get that after.
Okay.
What did she say?
End time. I'm assuming hour and a half for all those 4 o'clock meetings?
I think with deliberations on the first one, I would go to 6 o'clock.
Okay, 2.
And let's hope on the second one till 5:30, but I mean, even if you put 6, we can at least, if we're running.
Yeah.
And then on the 12th will be the report, 4 p.m. will be the report.
4 to 5:30.
4 to 5:30, and then on these dates in here, somewhere in here too, we'll be adding quarterly reports to be approved sometime in that scope of times there, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we just came up with a whole calendar.
So we'll get those times locked in, and then we'll get the schedule out to all of the committee members. I know we got 4 minutes left. I have one, I don't know what your plans are for the agenda, Dorothy, but what would you like me to say to the youth behavioral health grants? Do I announce their award at this point?
I have a letter that I'll send to you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
To go out with it, it has to go to Brian too. I have to send it to Brian. He has to forward it to FinCom and the Board of Selectmen.
And then I also
and then
need.
I would send and then we could send it. We can just tell them that we've made it that when we find the date, so we can find out when. I think if we get it in to them, it can be in the next Board of Selectmen meeting, because they just have to accept that that's what our recommendations are, right?
Yes.
And so.
Then I'm gonna have to draft up the grant contracts and reporting language. And the one other thing we need to figure out is this is in my professional services budget, which means that it goes away at the end of the year, which means that it's only gonna be active for not a full calendar year. So that's gonna require some discussion later, not now.
Okay. So, I think that was gonna be my discussion on the youth grant with you anyway, with everybody. So that's where we stand. Does anybody have any other questions? Because I think we covered pretty much everything. I'm gonna go down the line with everybody and you go last. Bert? You have any questions?
No, I had to unmute myself.
Joanna, you have any questions?
No.
John?
No,
Sue?
No questions.
Linda?
has left.
She's gone.
Oh, when did she leave?
I did not see when she left.
I didn't see when she left either.
Oh, about 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
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 Is this on other business?
This is other business. So, Veronica has something that she'd like to say.
Right, under other business, I would like to host the WPI students at the end of their project before they do it in a social afternoon, evening, or whatever. And if we can figure out how this can be done, I'd like to invite whoever would like to come from the committee. And just to, as a thank you in a way of, I can send a date to you and we can figure out how to do this.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Veronica and I are gonna figure out how to do that. And on the 9th, the suggestion is that we do something to thank them for the efforts and the work they've done prior to their leaving the island. So we'll come up with some kind of date for everybody, and a location, that works.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay. Did everybody hear that?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay, awesome. Okay, everybody.
awesome, Veronica.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody for today. It was a little heated, but that's okay. Heated discussions are always good. They keep us
Well,
alive.
We made it through.
We made it through. We always make it through,
And let's make sure tomorrow night we get through also.
right?
Oh, heavens.
It's gonna be a tough one. Okay, I am asking Joanna to make a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second,
Okay, so, Joanna,
Aye.
Bert,
aye.
John,
Aye.
Sue,
aye.
Veronica,
Aye.
Dorothy, I. Jericho, Heather, and Tamika, thank you both, all three very much.
Hope you get power back quickly, Sue.
That's
Oh
Thank you. This is not fun.
There those magic light bulbs.
Yeah, Sue, where are you?
Tom Nevers.
Oh, what
I'm
happened
in Tom,
there?
I'm in Tom Nevers and we've got power on my street.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're down old Tom Nevers. I don't know.
No, yeah, I'm on Longwood, the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good luck, everybody. Okay,
Thanks.
everybody, we'll see you all at town meeting tomorrow night.
Yep.